George, let's start off here with the ideas of why, whatever this outage was, why it had so much of a ripple effect on flights overall.
I mean, JFK, a very important hub, right? And so when you knock down the ability to get airplanes in and out of a very important hub, it's just gonna, it's gonna run through the entire system. It creates a real challenge for the airlines.
How concerning is it that there was such a power outage in the first place?
Very concerning, right? There's a lot of commerce, a lot of money that ends up getting lost. This pretty old infrastructure at Kennedy, and so I think just it's a reminder of I think all the work we have to do to bring our transportation infrastructure up to speed in this country, right? And it costs the travelers time and money. It costs the airlines time and money. It costs the economy, real potential. So it's a big challenge.
But this, George, I mean, this isn't the first time that we spoke to you about major outages in U.S. aviation in the last few weeks or months here. I don't want to make too much of this because I don't necessarily know if this is an increase in activity, increases in disruptions here. But there is a lot of concern here about the response, about whether the infrastructure needs more money in order to update it, and really, I guess, about how the airlines themselves deal with what, I guess, for better or for worse, is what we have.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think, some of the airline responses, we're turning airplanes around mid-flight and going back to where they came from. I think you can really understand, the way they're going to want to react to some of these outages. If they bring their airplane back to home base where it started from, it's easier for them to manage the follow-on flights rather than try to get people to their final destination from some alternate airport that they don't typically go to. It's I think, for travelers, a real pain in the neck to end up back where you started after maybe you conducted half the flight. But again, I think you can understand from an airline perspective, you don't want to be managing an airplane at the wrong airport and trying to figure out how to get it fueled, how to get it offloaded, how to get people to their final destination, putting them in hotels. It becomes a mess. Again, it costs the economy real money. I think our infrastructure has been aging. We know it's been aging. A lot of this stuff has been put in place 50, 60, 70 years ago. You can't keep operating at sort of peak efficiency, with this old infrastructure.
Right. Let's also talk a little bit about what comes next, though, George, as well, because we do have JFK opening Terminal 1 with limited operations tomorrow. So that implies some sense of roadblocks still as things start to reopen. You were talking about the mess that already ensues with a closure that we've seen. What comes next?
I mean, I think the good thing is tomorrow, Saturday, it's the middle of winter. The bad news is it's a 3-day holiday. So, there's probably less demand than you'd have if it was peak summer season. And so the airlines have more of an opportunity to catch up to the problem. But again, given it's a 3-day weekend, that's going to create its own problems. It'll probably take the airlines well into next week to get everything, all their equipment back in the right place and their schedules working right and to recover from it. So it's, the ripple will be a while.